The year is ending and it's time to reflect on all the games that I played this year, starting with the farming sims. This was a huge year for farming sims. We had so many to play and I'm excited to rank them all in this video. So I will be ranking every new farming game from 2023 that I played this year. These are my rankings. These are completely personal to my preferences for games and for farming sims. So if I rank a game low on the list, that doesn't mean that the game is bad. That just means that I didn't like it as much as maybe you did. And that's okay. And we all have our opinions and it's totally fine. So we can have fun, healthy discussions about it. We don't need to get mad about it, okay? And just because I didn't prefer a game doesn't mean that you shouldn't play it. Of course you should play a game if you think it's fun. So don't take anything to heart too much because this is just for fun and this is my recap of all the farming games I played this year and I'm just documenting it and posting it on the internet. Now there are some games that I did play but I didn't include in this tier list, and that means that they either weren't a farming sim or they were in early access. So the two farming games that were in early access that I played are Cornucopia and Forest Spirit. And they're both in early access. I feel like, one, I didn't play them enough, and two, I feel like, why would I include them if they're not even fully released quite yet? And there's a couple that I didn't play. So I did not play Harvest Moon Winds of Anthos, and I did not play Rune Factory 3. I'm really hoping to get Rune Factory 3 special for Christmas though, and then I can finally play it. And now let's get on to the rankings, starting with Ooblets. Ooblets is one that I wasn't going to include in this video because technically it came out on the Switch last year, but I didn't play it till this year when it released on Steam, and I was gifted Ooblets to provide review content on earlier this year. So I played it for the first time this year. It does have farming elements. I didn't feel like the farming took charge of the game, but I did feel like it had this farming sim life. It actually did put the farming higher up in the ranks than some of these other games on the list. It has that, but it also is a creature collecting sim and a dance battle card battler game. So it's really fun and colorful and cute, and I did enjoy it, but I really only played this game when I streamed, and it was so fun for streams because it's really engaging in that way. But playing it off stream on my own time, I didn't really have the drive to do that. Because there were other games that kind of took my heart. So I feel like compared to a lot of these games, it didn't pull me in as quite as much as I maybe thought it would. So I'm going to place this one in the B tier, and hopefully as more updates come, because I know this one's getting, I think, some more holiday updates because it had the Halloween one. You know, maybe I will rank this one up a little higher as I play more of it. Coral Island is the next one I'm ranking, and this one is going in the S tier. This game has mermaids, really cool graphics, feels really magical. It has a lot of areas that you can go and explore, and it has this openness. So like if you want to go and you want to do the quest that has to do with the cavern, then you can explore that. If the next day you feel like going diving and trying to find some mermaids, you can do that. If you want to just work on the bundles, you can do that at the temple. So it has a lot of stuff, and it has a lot of inspiration from Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley and probably some other farming sims. So it's definitely in the farming sim genre that I like, where it's more open-ended. You can kind of do what you want to do, but it has quests to choose from. And I really like that. I don't know how to describe that well, but that's how I would describe it. You are helping the town rank up, and I just like it. I just really like this game. It's really cute. It's really unique. It has fun outfits, fun decorating. It just has a little bit of everything, and I really, really, really enjoy it. Now, I have heard that a lot of people are saying like this game was fully released, but it's not fully finished. And I haven't run into anything like that just yet, but I heard some areas are marked as like work in progress and waiting for an update. And that really stinks, but it doesn't rank this one lower for me. I have loved this one, and I have played it in early access since it came to early access, and I have just loved it from the start. So I'm not ranking it any lower because of those things. Every game in this list has things that it could improve or work on. No game is perfect, but Coral Island is S tier for me. Sunhaven released this year. It feels like that was so long ago, but Sunhaven released this year. I'm gonna put Sunhaven in the A tier because although I felt like there were times where I'm like, did I like that game? Well, yeah. Then I look at how many hours I put into it and I'm like, I definitely like this game, but I wouldn't put it quite up in the S tier for me personally because I felt like I got overwhelmed with all of the farms and like I needed to take a break from this game. So this is one I want to go back to and play more and get more involved with the story because it is really engaging, it is really interesting, and I like the art style. I like how different it is. It adds a lot of unique things like turning into different animals like a unicorn, and it has really unique NPCs, but it just feels like there is so much to do in this one. But it's definitely the type of game style that I do like. So I'm gonna put this one in the A tier. Sunhaven, it has these fun fantasy elements that just spice up the game even more. And I just found that I put hours into this game really easily. Many more hours than I thought I even had put into this one. So I hope to get more into this game soon. I've been working through my backlog a little bit because I did play so many games this year. So for me, Sunhaven is going in the A tier. Homestead Arcana is the next game, and this was marketed as a farming sim. This one was actually a little bit more like story-led and actually about like trying to clean up this miasma and figure out more and figure out what's going on in the story and how to save it and all of that. It did have some cool voice acting, like don't get me wrong there. But when it comes to marketing it as like this farming game, like the key art for this game is like this farmer witch with all these like crops behind her. It's like, it's really not that much of a farming game. It had some interesting farming that you do, but you plant literally like one of each crop and then you use your like magic to grow it more and harvest the crop and you use it for like a quest. So it wasn't really based off of like a farming life sim like what I prefer. So for me, this game was interesting, but it wasn't what I had thought it would be. And I'm putting this one in the D tier because I just didn't really enjoy it. I just felt like it was like a little empty and lonely and eerie and just not for me. So that one's going in the D tier. The next one is Roots of Pacha, and I absolutely adore this game. Spoiler alert, it's my favorite game of the entire year. I just love it. I love how unique it is and different. It definitely does have more of a like Stardew Valley, Old Harvest Moon feeling to it, but it's so unique and it's completely its own. So the style is like that and it has elements that I like in a farming sim. I like to have a house to upgrade and decorate. I like to have a farm with animals and barns and things to upgrade. I love the setting of the Stone Age. I love the caves and the puzzles. I love the mini games when you tame the animals, and I like the unique animals that they have. I also love the mechanics of Roots of Pacha. I love that the seeds have their own pocket separate from your inventory where you carry other items. I love that there's a separate pocket for your tools and it's easy to switch between them and have them separate from your inventory. I love that there's a tool you can eventually upgrade to, which is called the Magic Hand Axe, which you can do everything with. You can use it to crack rocks, chop wood, fish, everything, get rid of the fiber, all of that. And I just love that about it. This is a game that I might even want to like try to 100% all the achievements in. I just love Roots of Pacha. It's so good. If you haven't checked it out, I really recommend it. Even if it looks like something you might think you don't want to play, you should play it because I love it. The next one is Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, and in my last ranking video that I did with Story of Seasons included, I ranked this one the highest tier, but now thinking it over, I'm actually going to put it in the A tier. I really did enjoy this game at the time, but thinking about it, this game doesn't really have that much replayability after you finish the main story. And it gets a little bit dry as you continue playing it. It's like, okay, what do I do now? It's the same thing every single day, but not in a way where you have a quest or you have a thing you're doing. Like, I understand, like, yeah, you gotta water the plants every day. Yeah, you gotta take care of the animals every day. But when it comes to finding new things to do with your day and with the storyline, it felt like there wasn't that much more to do, or a lot of those things were hidden and you'd have to like look it up and watch a bunch of guides and videos to figure out, okay, what should my next task be in this game? Although I did really love this game for the nostalgia factor. For those who are also fans of the OG Harvest Moon franchise, this game was a remake of a GameCube game, and I feel like it definitely provided a lot of like fun nostalgia. But I also feel like I hope Story of Seasons in their next remake or their next entry in the series that they will add in some new modern like farming sim things that we like, that has more to do and more to expand on. I just hope that they add some more spice into the mix, I guess. So this one is going into the A tier. Moonstone Island. Moonstone Island is a really cool game. It is marketed farming sim, and it does have the farming sim stuff that I like, where you have a little town that you live in and you just move to, and you can romance people and you can have your little farm and all of that. But instead of animals, you have spirits that you keep in a spirit barn. You go out and explore. You fly to different islands on your broomstick or using your balloon or whatever you got. And it's just so fun and so cute, and I love it so much. I really, really enjoyed this one, and I felt like this one, although there is the farming elements, I felt like it was more of a creature collecting sim and an exploration game. You go and you do the card-based combat to get more spirits and stuff, and I like it. I really like that about it. It's like farming sim with a twist, really. So yeah, I really, really liked Moonstone Island, and Moonstone Island was provided to me earlier this year for review, so thank you so much. And I love the Studio Ghibli vibes that this one gives off as well. And I found that I was like so addicted to this game and I could not put it down, especially because I have a Steam Deck, so I could just play it wherever I wanted in my house. So for me, Moonstone Island is going into the S tier. I was gifted this game with a review code earlier in the year. Paleo Pines is a fun, colorful, and cute farming game where you farm with your dinosaur, Lucky, and you can go out and explore and find more dinosaurs to add to your little clan and everything like that. There were just some things I didn't really like about this game. One is that I felt like it wasn't guided enough for me. Like, you don't tell me something and then like if I pick the game up later, I'm like, oh, I forgot how to do that. There was no way of me figuring it out unless I do extensive looking it up on Google. I also was like, okay, how do I get this pop-in, this type of pop-in, so I can get this type of dinosaur? And then I was just having trouble with the quests and figuring out, okay, how do I do things and how do I figure stuff out? And maybe that's a me problem, but I just didn't feel like I was pulled into this game as much as I thought I would be. I also didn't like how, like, my house, I couldn't go inside of the house and decorate the house. You could only decorate, like, your yard and things like that. I thought it was taking too long to put a saddle on the new dinosaurs that I got, so I couldn't even use them for the farming because I'm impatient. It just wasn't the farming game for me, although I thought the dinos were so cute, and I thought, like, the colorfulness of this game was so cute, and, like, rainbows and everything. But when it came to, like, the style of the characters, I didn't like the art style behind those, and I felt like it was missing out on some life sim elements, like maybe having more to the NPCs and being able to romance them and have some more life sim stuff, like even just being able to decorate and go inside your house would add some more of that for me. And for those reasons, I placed Paleo Pines in the C tier. The next one, I was also gifted this game key, and I was looking forward to this game, and I talked about it on my channel quite a lot as it was leading up to the game. Harvest Island is a horror mixed with farming sim, and it's definitely a farming sim type of game. It's like all based on the farm, and you do farming, and you have animals and all of that. And you already start out with everything, so you don't have to go and figure out how to buy cows and do all of that. It's just like part of the gameplay, and you can play this game in 2 different modes. I think they're adding more modes, and they added more horror into the game. But for me, I actually mainly played this one to have the like farming elements, but mainly to have that story element to it. And so the story was what I was more focused on, and seeing what that would be like in a game like this. And it felt like it was just taking so long to get to anything scary or to get to anything interesting. And although it was like pulling me in, I felt like, okay, is it just like a really long rope that never ends and I'm just gonna keep pulling it in tug of war? And it's like, hello, 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 hello. Like you're pulling stuff out of that purse like a clown and it never stops. That thing, that's how it felt. I'm like, when is it gonna get to the end? When is there something gonna happen? And I think he improved on that, but it just, I don't want to go back to it. I just didn't like it. I felt like a lot of the mechanics were clunky. Although, like, the characters were really cute and stuff. It just wasn't for me. I thought it could be, but it just wasn't, and I'm going to be putting this one in the D tier. Palia was marketed as a farming game when it was first launching, and this one is supposed to be coming onto the Nintendo Switch in holiday 2023, but I haven't heard much about that yet. It's in the open beta now, and it had so much hype when it was in closed beta and it was just starting. Palia is free, so anyone can play this one, which is really, really cool. So it does have some things that classic farming sims, I guess, would have, but it's also an MMO, so you see a bunch of other players playing the game as you play, which can be really fun when you're playing with friends or you're looking for an item. You can request it and then they can get it for you. So there's some cool different things about this one. But for me, I felt like I was so lost all the time. I felt like I was overwhelmed by how big the map is and trying to like figure out how to get places. So I felt like most of my gameplay was just me running around, trying to figure out how to grind for different things and do different quests. So I felt like this one was a little more quest-based, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's not quite a farming sim, I would say. Like, there is farming. You can have a farm on your land. You can do fishing. You can do some cool things like that. You can get married. So it has a lot of life sim and some farming sim elements that farming sims have. But for me, it felt different. It didn't feel like it was really what I was looking for in a farming game. So I'm putting this one in the B tier. Once it comes out of the beta, I think I want to try it again and see, you know, how it runs, how it goes on the Switch. And if you can launch your save over to the Switch, that would be really cool. I'm thinking that's what they're going to be able to do. So that would be really cool. But for this game, it just didn't do it for me like I thought it would, but it was still fun and still interesting, and it has a lot to do, and it's free, so that's really cool. So for me, I'm putting this one in B tier. I'm very in the middle, and so it's very much going in the middle of my tier list here. The next one is Fae Farm, and yes, it has farm right in the title, and it does have a farm, and it does have animals, and you can actually have multiple like living places and houses, like kind of like how Sunhaven did. But for this one, I felt like you were mostly mining. But yes, Fae Farm, before I get into all that, this game was provided to me by the publishing team so that I could provide my thoughts on the game, and now I feel like I do have some more final thoughts about the game rather than first impressions. Fae Farm has some really good mechanics when it comes to like how you use the tools and things like that, and I really like that. The storyline, if you go through the story and you do the quests, I liked how it was run in that way, but I'm like on the third mine and I am so stuck, and it really gets hard, to be honest, to get through there unless you like really grind for potions and stuff. But I felt like most of this game was mining, not really farming, but it gets marketed as this farming thing because farming games are so big and huge and popular that they're like, let's put farming in, let's make it around this farm area thing, but let's do this mining stuff. So it was kind of weird in that way, but I really liked this game and I put so many hours into it, and I'm gonna put this one in the A tier because of that. I do recommend this one. I do really like it, but I would say if you're looking for farming, this one has more mining stuff, and it is getting some updates soon, so that is really, really exciting. It just didn't have that full spark that I wanted it to have that really makes me like fall in love with the game. Like Roots of Pacha really had that for me, and this one didn't, but I still liked it a lot. Sprout Valley is so adorable and so cute, and you play as this little cat named Nico, and it's very unique. I really like this one because the game has Animal Crossing vibes where you can like go to another island every day, and you have this one island that you can decorate and things and eventually kind of expand on, and you have your farm, you have your little house, and you can do some bundles. like how Stardew has those, but they're much easier. Yet, you have to go out to these other islands and explore and find these things and find more seeds and find a little shop, hopefully that it will be on this random island that you can buy from. And I just really like this one. It's very cute and simple and it's fun. Now, I don't think there's any animals to tend to in this game because you are an animal. That's not why, but you are an animal, and so it mostly has like the crop growing type of farm stuff. This one is definitely not perfect, not maybe fully fleshed out, but it is really simple, and it's simple enough for me to have really liked it and just to play and have this gameplay loop that is really fun and just precious. It's not the most engaging game ever. It is very open-ended. Now, I would say this one's an easy one to drop off of playing because it is so simple and it is so relaxed. And I'm gonna put this one in the B tier because I really like this one. I would pick it up again, but it's not one that I'm most drawn to picking up again. But I do really like it and I do really recommend it. So I'm gonna put it in the B tier. Out of all of these games, that's where I'm going to place it. And the last one on this list is Everdream Valley. Everdream Valley was provided to me for review earlier this year, and this game, it was cute, it was colorful, but it was so not for me. It had a couple of like cool mechanics to it, but overall, it felt like I was running around aimlessly and confusedly, and I'm like, where am I going? What am I doing? I just didn't really enjoy it. It felt really fetch questy to me. The one thing that is cool about this one is that it is a really fresh take on a farming sim. You have these dreams at night where you can do fun like mini games with the animals, and you kind of run around on your grandparents' farm trying to like get the farm running, and you know, you have to go out and like find the animals and then try to get them onto your farm and chase them around and just do all this fun, crazy stuff. So this one is definitely a farming sim with a new take. It just really wasn't for me. And I did talk about this one in some other videos. If you want to hear more of my in-depth thoughts on it, then you can watch my games I regret buying video because it's in there. But yeah, it's just not really what I was looking for in a farming sim. This one I'm gonna put in the D tier. And those are my thoughts on all of these farming sims that I played in 2023. What are your thoughts on these games, and what were your favorite farming sims of 2023? Let me know in the comments below. These are my members of the channel. Thank you so much for being members. If you want to become a member, you can press the join button below to get extra content and be part of a bigger community here. If you want to join my Discord community, I will also have that linked below. And thank you for watching. You can check out my other videos right here, and I hopefully will see you guys in the next one. Bye!